Professor R.M. Chitnis Sir, Vice Chancellor MIT WPU, to kindly felicitate Dr. Edison Samraj. Huge round of applause, my dear friends. With this, we come to the end of this felicitation part. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, it has been an exhilarating journey in the pursuit of having this G20 forum in the World Peace Dome. Yes, the interfaith dialogues, if we observe the saints, sages, philosophers here. Now may I request Dr. Edison Samraj, who is Director, Education Department, Southern Asia Division of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So may I request Dr. Edison Samraj ji to address.
Dr. Vishwanath Karwad, the founder director of MIT, and the dignitaries on the dais, spiritual leaders, world leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I want to begin by making one single point, and that is all I have to say. And that is, only grace can transform the ethos of humanity. Spiritual freedom, and that freedom will come when the grace of God touches every human person on planet Earth. And I believe nothing else can change the ethos as grace will. And today, I want to tell you a parable that explains the power of grace, the importance of grace, the agent of grace, and the necessity of grace. Once upon a time, there were 4 frogs in a well in Saudi Arabia, and the water level of this well was going down and down and down. The 4 frogs were, one was an American frog, the other one was a Chinese frog, the third frog was an Indian frog, and the 4th frog was an African frog. The American frogs was concerned about the water level of the well going down. So he took time to talk to his fellow frogs and said, if we allow the water level to go down, it's going to make us die. So we must do something about it. So they all together started to come together, and they had a standing committee. So the American frog took his cell phone from his pocket, and he dialed to President Obama. And he told President Obama, I am an American frog living in Saudi Arabia, and I want to come out of this well, and the water level is going down. Can you help? President Obama replied, saying that I have spent a lot of money in Iraq. I have no time to waste on liabilities like you. And then the Chinese frog, looking at the disappointed American frog, took his laptop and typed a letter to his business friend in Beijing. And the business friend replied back and said, we have just invested a lot of money in India, and we have no money to send a rescue team. The Indian frog borrowed the laptop of the Chinese and drafted a letter to Dr. Manmohan Singh, the then Prime Minister. He said, we are in a crisis, send us a rescue team. And Dr. Manmohan Singh replied back and said, please, I can't do anything. Please ask Sonia Gandhi. And then the African frog, looking at the other three frogs, disappointed, not able to handle the crisis, said, when I was a small frog, my grandmother told me that when you pray for the grace of God to come, there will be change. And so all the four frogs joined together and prayed for the grace of God to come upon them. They prayed, and that night the rains came down and the floods came up, and the water level of the well came up, and the frogs were able to jump into the buckets where the village women were carrying water, and they were free. Ding dong bell, pussy's in the well. Who put her in? Little Tommy Tin. Who pulled her out? Little Tommy Stout. Ding dong bell, we are in the well. Who put us in? Satan Tommy Tin. Who pulled us out? Jesus Christ Stout. That's the message today, that the world needs the Prince of Peace. The world needs grace to transform its ethos. And today, I represent the one-point agenda, and that is, only grace can transform the ethos of the entire world. Vasudeva Kudabagam means the whole human family needs the grace of God. Grace of God is on trial. And the moment we bring grace to every person, transformation begins. And that is my prayer for each one. And I quote from Scripture, my God is able to bring all grace abound towards you and make you all sufficient in all things unto good works. This is the word of the Lord. May the grace of God be upon all of us, then transforming the ethos of humanity so that we can be one in, not only in terms of numbers, but one in the divine knowledge and experience. This is my prayer.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have one more person for giving us the blessings with his divine Om. So may I request Sri Shivam from the Shivoham Foundation to kindly come and bless us with your very pious and divine Om chanting. Please give a huge round of applause to Sri Shivam.